okay, so we've been talking a lot about comedy, and my curiosity is for me, music is the other. It's the thing that I don't understand. I put up on a pedestal. I've always said, if I could make my living legitimately in a rockabilly band, singing and playing rockabilly music, you would never see me in comedy again because it would just make me so happy. That's an illusion because it wouldn't. I'd say, how come no one's laughing?
Right.
Well, they would be laughing, actually.
I'm playing Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah.
By Johnny Horton. How is this not killing?
Why aren't they howling
Why
right
aren't they
now?
howling?
Don't they know this is a real Gretsch 6120 from 1959? It's got the cattle brand on it.
I've got a harmonic tremolo on.
But no, I've always put what you do as the other. And so then I think what we all do is we tend to think, my thought is, okay, I'm here in comedy and I'm always living like second to second. And if something goes wrong, I've got to quickly figure out how to fix it. And it could all fall apart any second. But if I could play guitar and sing and write songs like John Mayer, I'd be bulletproof. And yet I talk to you and you don't feel that way at all.
Well, I don't feel bulletproof, but for different reasons. I always tend to have a different version of the same problem everyone else has. I worry the entire time I'm playing on stage, but I don't worry about whether I'm good enough to make it happen. That's set for me, right? It just happens to be set. What I worry about is, am I playing the song anybody wants to hear right now? Is there another song I should be playing other than this one? So I have the fear they're going to walk out and go to the bathroom. Not because they don't like me, but because I'm not playing what they want to hear.
Right.
And it's the blessing and the curse of having 8, 9 albums and so many songs being so different. It's not like I get up there and I know and I also don't love playing the hits. Sometimes what makes a hit lacks a little bit of song fabric that you can work with every single night.
Right.
And if I don't play something that it goes both ways, right? If I'm playing Daughters, if I'm playing Waiting on the World to Change, I will say to myself, they don't want to hear this. This is all played out. This is just a hit song that used to be on the radio. No one cares anymore. I should be playing something a little deeper, something a little more texture. Then I play that, and in the middle of playing that, I go, they're going to walk out. They came here. They got babysitters. They want to hear the songs that made me famous. So I can't ever, as I'm playing, find that happy place where I'm like, they're fine. Don't you think it comes down to like, they're fine out there. They can handle themselves.
Right.
They're okay. Don't worry. If the audience
Yes.
could tell you one thing, it would be, we're fine.
Also,
have fun.
It took me a while to learn this, but audiences, there's something about a group think. Audiences as a group are highly intelligent. It's one organism. Like when you get that many people together and they smell things, and if they sense, and one of the things and it may be true in music too, but in comedy, they're just, a lot of times they're looking for confidence. Do you have the confidence are you worthy of our time?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what you're doing and can you lead with authority?
Music, it's, are you having a good time doing this?
Yeah. And in comedy too.
Yeah. They would hate to know. If I got on stage and said to the crowd, it's so good to see you because I have a really bad headache. Oof. And then I went and played the show. They would probably develop like, sympathetic pain in there, or they'd go, oh, he has a headache.
Well, for years for the whatever 28, 30 years of doing late night television, my heart would sink when a guest would come out and they're doing okay, and then they'd say, these stories suck. In front of the audience.
Yes.
And the audience, I would always say afterwards, I mean, I wouldn't lecture them. They would,
right,
because that sounds stupid. But I'd be thinking to myself, the audience was okay
until you.
My job is to let the audience know that this is just exactly the interview I wanted,
mm-hmm.
whether it is or it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute you turn to them and say, "You just bought a lemon of a car,"
yes,
that Datsun I just sold you sucks.
Yes.
I know there's not.
You are the spiritual leader of them.
Yeah.
That's why if you break a guitar string, most people in the audience don't know how insignificant breaking a guitar string is. They think you might have broken the instrument. Right. And if you go, then they go, yeah. If you play right through it, they don't even notice after that. I never apologize. I've seen artists apologize on stage, and I've told them myself, never apologize from the stage.
Right.
I'm sorry. I have a cold tonight.
You're not getting my best show.
Never ever say.
No. You have to. I mean, this is all very elemental stuff, but it's so fascinating to me that I love that it's true in comedy. It's true in music. It's probably true in business. It's probably, I mean, it's a very, I think cult leaders don't say, I'm sorry, that thing I said last week about, an angel is going to come and he's going to be wearing goggles. It's not goggles. I misheard the angel. The angel will be adept at Google is what I meant, Yeah, it's authority. And sadly, I think it works in politics too, where someone who you think is a complete idiot, if they say things with great authority over and over and over again, and I'm not naming names, but I think we know that we're all talking about Gerald Ford.
Well, listen, I've said before, if
you're not a Ford guy either, good, because we got to take him down.
If Donald Trump weren't saying the things he was saying,
right,
and was saying things, let's say, that were benign,
mm-hmm.
he would have a lovely speaking voice.
Yeah,
he could have narrated Royal Tenenbaums. And it would be great.
Oh man, I'm just imagining that.
Someone can use AI, I'm sure. A fastidious fan of yours will use AI
and have Donald Trump narrate Royal
and it wouldn't
Tenenbaums.
Be terrible.
Wouldn't be terrible is my benchmark. You just described. That's our that's our best review. It's funny because a couple of weeks ago I had the honor very recently of going to talk to President Biden, and I'm a huge presidential history buff, and he was lovely to me, and we had a very nice conversation that wasn't really that political at all. One of the things I noticed is that he speaks quietly, but what he's saying was great. It was a terrific conversation.
Yeah.
And he has a quieter speaking voice. And then I noticed, I think people, as opposed to say a Trump who can say crazy things like, aardvarks should mate with zebras, but he says it loudly.
Right.
And everyone goes, that's a leader.
Right.
And I think to myself, he just said aardvarks should mate with another species.
I like when he reads from the teleprompter and reacts to the teleprompter as he's speaking. And aardvarks should be mating with zebras. And they should be mating. He's sort of reading for the first time. And you can always feel the binary of when he's going, oh, yeah.
They should be.
He's reacting.
It's a good one.
And they should be. They should be mating. And then he goes back and he's reading, and they should. And he goes back. I just love the moment he realizes what he's reading.
Yeah.
And reacts to it in real time.
It'd be funny if they just put a recipe in there, and he was just, so he's talking about and we're going to do this about the border. And another thing, if you're making buttermilk biscuits, a quarter.
At high altitude, one egg only.
One egg only?
Only takes one egg.
They should put the script to Royal Tenenbaums in there.
But he's going just one egg, because it's a higher altitude.
It's a higher altitude.
So
and then he goes back, and you can feel him go back.
Yeah. But a little bit of honey in with the, because it adds sweetness. It does. Add sweetness to the biscuit.